This is our leftover time. It's time for leftovers. These are little parts of today's sermon that I haven't put in the videos yet. So if you look at my little clock here, it isn't actually moving. Which reminds me of a story. Why did the little boy throw the clock out the window? He wanted to see time fly. When I was a little boy and I thought jokes like that were funny, my grandpa had an old car and it had a clock in it like this. It didn't have a digital clock. It had an old-timey clock. And every time I'd get in there, I'd get it in there and I would do this. I would change the time on that clock. My grandpa really loved me and he let me do whatever I wanted. And I'd get in there and I'd change that clock. And he'd always tell me the same old jokes. We'd look at that clock and he'd say, you know, that clock is right twice a day. And me as a little kid, I'm like, I don't understand that. It's not moving. How can it be right? Well, it's right twice a day. Like in this right here, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock happens in the morning and 7 o'clock happens in the evening. So it's right twice a day. I would take that and put that into your spiritual life. There are some times when you do the right thing, even if you're not trying very hard. But that's not what God has put us on this planet for. He's put us on this planet to grow up, to become mature, to begin to love our neighbors, to love Him with all of our heart, soul, mind, and strength. And so as we travel this time in life, let's not make it where it's just every once in a while we do the right thing. Let's try it a little harder. Let's get a little closer. Let's live a little more like Him. And just giving you a few time ideas. Don't waste your time. Don't be killing time. Don't be doing time, for my friends in prison. Don't be doing time. Um, when I was a kid, I always hated to hear it's time to clean up or it's time to take a bath. It's time for bed. There's lots of times that we don't like, but that doesn't mean that we can't choose to do the right things in that time. And so this little saying really struck me. It said, time is free, but it's priceless. You can't own it, but you can use it. You can't keep it, but you can spend it. Once you've lost it, you can never get it back. So if you're like me and you're trying to follow Jesus in this world today, it can get pretty hard. But take that daily time that you have. Ask Him to show you how to live it right. Give you the strength to live it right, because you can't do it on your own. That's why Jesus came and died. Take that time to get in time with Him. And just like it says in in Galatians 5, when it's talking about the fruit of the Spirit, and then it says, let us keep in step with the Spirit, not become conceited, provoking, and envying each other. Let's keep in step with Him. There's times He has to keep in step with us. If you remember the little story of where your steps are on the beach, and the little story goes, God, where were you when things got difficult? Well, I was carrying you. You know what? There's lots of times in life God has to carry us. I've had lots of times in the last few years where He's had to carry me because I needed help. But there's other times that we can do it. We've just given up. And God wants to tell you today, don't give up. Don't give up. His mercies are new every morning. So when you wake up tomorrow morning, take that blessing that you're forgiven. Tell Him the sins that you've had the day before. Thank Him for that forgiveness and start off in time with Him. and in step with him. It's as simple as that.